Hi there, I'm Jo Wintrott, and this is the Amijo Show. I am hosting a number of shows, actually interviewing people right now who are in lockdown, like me, like everyone, and we're finding out what they're up to and what their challenges are, and hopefully just a little bit of advice and kind of, oh, what about doing this for people that are watching the show. So I am super thrilled today to have all the way from Ojai in California, one of the best places on the planet, by the way. If you've never been, you need to go. This is Lisa Braithwaite. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Hello. I love your earrings. Those are your homemade ones.
Yes.
Lisa makes her own earrings as well as being a speaking coach. That should be your tagline. Oh, thanks for joining me on the show, Lisa.
Sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's really good to hear. So before I pressed record, you're telling me about your governor in California is like on lockdown big time, isn't he? He's just gone for it. So tell me about that.
Genius. We were the first state to go, to have the whole state go on, or to, what they call it, stay-at-home orders or shelter in place, all these dramatic ways of describing it. Yeah, I was just saying that I really appreciate our governor because he is paying attention to the research, the science, the math and the numbers. And we all know that in order for our cities and our state and our states and our country to start rolling again, there's certain things that need to happen. And you can't just decide, wow, the economy is suffering, so we need to let restaurants reopen. You just can't do that. There are steps that have to be, or what's the word? What's the word? Sort of guidelines or measures that need to be taken, right? We need to know that the numbers are going down. We need to know that people are still social distancing to a certain degree because not everybody's immune. We need to know X, Y, Z. You can't send people back to work if their kids can't go back to school, right? So all of these things, I just love how our governor has been very tough about it. And it's not like we love it. We don't love being on lockdown. But so what I'm seeing is that a lot of businesses now are starting to kind of finally ramp back up into the virtual space. It's taken some places a while to get to this point, and then to get to the point where, well, at least in California, we know that we're on lockdown at least 2 more weeks for sure. And I'm guessing that we're going to go halfway into May or longer, just because our governor is really, really wanting to be careful. And we have really good numbers in California too. For the size of the population we have, the number of deaths and the number of infections is nowhere near what it is in other populous areas. So I feel good about it. And also I feel good seeing businesses now kind of, okay, we're going to be in this for a while. It's not going to be over in a week or 2 weeks. Let's just get back to what we were doing and get back to work. So that's making me happy.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? And that just creates a whole different energy and a feeling, because, there was initially the shock, wasn't there? It's like, goodness me, everyone has to stay home. How the hell can the world keep operating? How can business keep operating? But, we're hearing of stories all the time that people, the leaders that have made the quick decisions to actually just react and react with thought and consideration have really turned things around. So I was speaking to the founder of the biggest network, fastest growing network in the UK. She'd already prepared for online networking. So she literally flipped the network overnight into an online networking process, nailed it. It's continuing as if nothing has happened. And she's getting more members than ever, because there are people at home, obviously, with businesses that really want to connect more than ever. So she's thriving. Direct marketing, network marketing companies like LifeVantage, thriving, because actually people are just getting used to the technology that, like, you and I have been using for forever.
Right.
And and they're nearly, but that's good to hear, because it's all doable, right? we have been, you know, you've been coaching me. I've been mentoring you for over a year now, must be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've made it work with the time zones and the all kind
Yeah.
of the cats coming in. Like mine is
Yeah.
floating around at the moment. You've got 2 cats as well. But you know, you make it work and it's all doable. I think as long as you have open communication and just honesty and say, right, okay, well, my cat's scratching at the door right now. Less than perfect. I'm just going to go and fix that, you know, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Just kind of forget the perfectionism and just be pragmatic, I think.
You know, that's my book. That's what my book's all about. Well, and that's the thing too, because I've had clients all over the world for years. We started doing coaching sessions on Skype, but even before I started doing virtual trainings on the phone back when we used to call them teleseminars. And so back in 2012, I started doing online trainings called teleseminars, where everybody would call into a phone line. We didn't use slides, we didn't use video. And so then we went from that to using webinars where you would just have your slides and your voice, but there was no video yet. And then, you know, then we kind of came into this whole video conferencing deal with, I was using instant teleseminar for that. They weren't allowing video yet. I think that's when I moved over to Zoom, because instant teleseminar didn't allow video yet, and I was ready to do video and slides. So some of us, we've been doing this for a really long time. And in fact, 5 years ago, I developed my first training on how to do webinars, how to deliver online training.
Wow. Wow.
So I just revised it. When I realized everybody was going to have to be staying at home, in like 2 days, I completely revised that whole training and put it out as a new thing, because obviously things have changed in 5 years since I started delivering that.
Yeah.
But so it hasn't been as hard of a shift for you and for me as it has been for some other people.
Yeah.
And that's why you and I get to help people figure out how to do this.
Yeah, right. And there are things you need to consider, and there are, especially, you know, it sounds like the obvious stuff when you think of it, but you know, there is a way of making it work, especially to groups. It's very different one-to-one, isn't it? But when you're training groups, because you do group training as well as one-to-one training, and that does require some consideration, because otherwise it ends up just this weird kind of like, you get all this what I call library silence, like it's like, and you just lose that connection in conversation. And so the person who's leading the training needs to consider all that. So what's your advice to people that are trying to keep teams together and host kind of Zoom calls and keep them really connected and fun and lively?
Well, of course, this is a great question, because I think you read my article that I posted the other day, that you're going to read a lot out there right now on how to look on camera and what tools and microphones and lighting to use and how to dress and even how to engage audiences, because that's what I teach. But here's the piece that I found that was missing, and so I wrote about it, and that is the understanding and the mindset shift of changing your expectations for this platform, for this mode of presenting. There is a delay. And this is really hard for people, for speakers who are used to speaking to live audiences and getting that immediate gratification. You say something funny and people laugh. Ideally, they laugh right away. Sometimes there is a delayed reaction. But you say something and people laugh. You ask a question and hands go up, right? Everything is immediate, it's fast when we're presenting in a live group. And so I was hearing a lot of concerns from speakers saying things like, well, how do I know if my humor is landing if I can't hear and see people laughing? How do I know if my audience is getting value because I can't see their facial expressions? And so I felt that there were a couple of pieces here. One, the piece is, yes, we need to understand that things are delayed, and that the reality is, just because you can't hear and see people laughing or engaging, it doesn't mean that they're not engaging. And I use the example of your favorite talk show hosts who are all now presenting from home. This weekend, Saturday Night Live was brilliant, presented all from the performers' own homes. It was incredible. They're still funny. They don't have a live audience. They don't have a laugh track. They're still funny. They can't hear you laughing. They can't hear you engaging, but they're, you know, they're still giving value. So that was point number one. Point number two, though, was, are you worried more about your own ability to shine? Are you worried more about feeding off the audience and getting the instant gratification when people laugh or when people engage? And if you're more concerned about your own, what you're getting out of it, I'm just encouraging people to just keep focusing on serving.
Yeah.
If you are serving the audience and you are doing engagement activities and you are, you know, you're keeping them busy typing into the chat and clicking the buttons to raise their hand. If they're on camera, you can have them do things and, you know, maybe unmute them. But a lot of speakers are dealing with audiences who don't have all the bandwidth and, you know, can't do video. Some of them are in remote places. So it's very likely that you'll have audiences that you can't see and hear. But this is one of those times where I say you have to get over yourself.
Yeah.
You have to get over your own needs of the instant gratification of the audience loving you. You just have to get over that and really make it about serving them. Because if you do all that, you are serving them and you are giving them value. And that's what's always the most important thing. That's always the most important thing if you're a speaker.
Yeah.
So that's the message I kind of was, you know, trying to put out to my people, that just get over the fact that, get over any concept of it being about you and you getting that instant gratification that you need to make you feel good about yourself. Not going to happen right now. It's a good lesson. It's a good lesson.
I love it. And you're right, because any talk, any presentation should be a gift, shouldn't it? It should be you giving your best. And then how it lands and what they do with that information and presentation, you can't really account for. But you know, you can do your best. You can be as authentic as possible and just, I think, just tune yourself into what it is to feel like to get that information, and very much not be. I think the other thing that video does is that it really kind of really emphasizes any teachy kind of talk. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
When people are really lecturing, you know, because I've seen speakers.
It feels much more lectury when you're like this.
It does, and you feel like you're being told off. You know, and a friend of mine started doing some videos, and she's epic, and she's got a great podcast series. She's just started doing video, but I have to say something. It's like she's coming across as a teacher, not a talker, and I think that really puts us off. And I must admit, I'm a bit put off, and I love her content. She's amazing. She talks about social media, but you know, it just I don't want to be talked at. I want to be talked to, and I think that's something that you have to just get your conversational voice on. Whereas sometimes speaking, you can change that voice a bit, can't you? Flip from one to the other, contract, or to get something to really land if it's something that's like factual that you're trying to be really powerful about. But you can't get away with that on camera, can you?
Yeah, you have to be more conversational than ever. And even if it's a one-way conversation, you can still be asking people questions. You know, ask them to type in the chat. So I'll be talking, and this is how I am anyway when I speak live. I'm always very conversational, and I'm always asking for the audience to feed back to me. And so I do the same thing on video. I'll be talking about something and I'll say, so type yes in the chat if this has ever happened to you, or, you know, or type whatever, or type the kind of, you know, thing that you're doing, or I keep the conversation going the same way that I do when I speak live, only instead of having people raise their hands and all talk, because, you know, that can be complicated on video, I have everybody just type into the chat or type comments, and you know, you can decide how much of this you want to do. Do you want people to type? Do you want to create polls? Do you want to unmute people and let them speak? Do you want to do breakout rooms? I mean, there are a lot of different things you can do that are very similar to live presenting. But the key is just to understand that it isn't going to be as lively, but that doesn't mean you need to become just a talking head. Just because you're sitting here talking to a camera doesn't mean you have to be a talking head. You can still have a conversation and interaction. It takes practice. Somebody responded to my article that I wrote with these points in it, and she wrote back and she said, I needed to hear that. Thank you so much. Does it get easier? I said, yes, it gets easier. It does. But for a lot of people, it's very hard right now.
It is, and it's a big adjustment. And you're right. You have to just trust. I think you just have to have a big old dose of trust.
Trust.
I'm going to use like an example. So Joe Wicks, have you heard of him?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Joe Wicks has been doing YouTube fitness videos, HIIT training, for about 10 years now. I think
I think I have heard of him now that you say this.
He's a classic Londoner. He's like salt of the earth. He talks about his sweaty shorts. He discloses way too much about his personal hygiene. You know, but he is hysterical and so authentic. He is an absolute perfect role model for how to be imperfect but perfectly natural. And it would be a good case study for you to speak to. I'm trying to speak to him as well. So if I get hold of him, I'll let you know, Lisa.
That's great. Yeah.
But he is doing every morning now, and since lockdown, he has been doing a live PE lesson for all the kids and their parents and their whoever grandparents every morning, 9 a.m. GMT or BST now here, and it's gone global. And so just an example of what you're saying is what I'm just bringing this up for, because last Tuesday, he set a new Guinness World Book of Records, I always get those words around the wrong way, a record for the most live viewers on any fitness video on YouTube, just shy of 1 million viewers, right? And that's nearly 1 million devices. Bearing in mind, in my house, there's 3 of us. If you include the cat and the dog that come out too, that's 5 of us. So, you know, so it could be basically, it could be 2.5, 3 million people watching him. He is a perfect example, and I think actually a good example for people to tune into and watch, because he nails authenticity. I think probably, I can't imagine, but I can only guess he must get about 10,000 people that message in while he's doing the show. He's always saying, put in a hi and where are you from and what are you doing? And we've done it like every single time. And he must say about, I don't know, 18, 20 call outs during that whole 30 minutes. Nothing compared to the amount of people that chat, but the value of the potential of him picking up our comment and saying, oh, it's Joe and Cora, because we only live down the road from him. So I keep saying, we're down the road, Joe, you know, wave, say hi. And that's the value, isn't it? Because he's kind of trying to connect with us. He recognizes that he can't give a shout out to every single one, but just the fact that he mentions us and he connects with us, a perfect example of how to do live video with a big audience and really engage, I think.
Yeah. That I have heard about him, and I think that's why, because I think my friends are hearing about him and starting to watch him as well. So I will look into him, because I am all about ditching perfection and creating connection. That's my thing, and that doesn't change just because we're on video, you know, or whatever we're calling it these days, virtual, online, remote, something or other.
Blah, blah.
Blah, blah. Yeah.
But hey, and you must watch it. And actually on my YouTube channel, which this will be uploaded to, there are, I've done a special playlist of his hit videos that he did before lockdown. They're all around the world. And guess where a lot of them are from?
Ojai.
California. Do you know there's not one in Ojai, but all over California.
But California, okay.
So he did a California road trip 2 years ago. I've saved every single one that he did because you know me, how much I love California.
Yes.
So there's one in Santa Barbara, there's one in LA, San Fran, and so they're all there in a little special kind of. So you can have a little. You go into my YouTube channel and look at Joe Wick's hit training. You can have a little trip to the world. Yeah.
Maybe I'll find something in there that I like that will get me to exercise. I doubt it, but I can't get myself to exercise. But yeah.
Well, Joe Wicks, he's very good. If he can't do it, it's Lisa. Nobody can, I'm afraid.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Fantastic. So, okay, so have you got your book there? Can you show us your book? Oh, there we go.
And then I immediately knocked down everything behind me. Is it forward or backward though?
We're perfect. Presenting for Humans. Absolutely. And it's Lisa Braithwaite. So there we go. Available on Amazon, I guess?
Yes.
Brilliant.
It's available on Amazon, but actually I'm giving it away for free right now.
Oh, bonus. Can I have one?
Yes, I'm giving away. Of course.
You meant to give me one when I came over and you forgot.
Did I forget?
Yeah, you did give me one.
You came all the way to Ojai from England and I didn't give you a book. Yeah, so right now I'm giving away digital copies. Just, you know, for all the people who are hunkered down and looking for something to read. I'm not a big fiction reader. So I don't read novels. My entertainment is business books and cookbooks. That's my reading. That's my entertainment. So I thought I would give these away for people who are, you know, in lockdown, and it's a very lighthearted read. It's not it's not academic. There's a lot of humor. It's very lighthearted, and yeah. So maybe when you put this up. We can put a link to the book down below it in the description.
For sure. Definitely. I'll get that off you in a sec. That sounds amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today and lovely to speak to you. I hope Rudy and your boys are okay. Are they doing well?
Everybody is well. The boys are used to being on lockdown because they're indoor cats. So they're as rambunctious as ever and keeping me entertained. Rudy does go out to a grocery store to work every day.
He's not the cat, that's the husband. Yeah.
That's the husband. We don't have especially talented cats who work in grocery stores. Yeah, my poor husband is still going out into the world and staying healthy so far and trying to keep his mental health in check because a lot of people are still not getting it, that they need to wear face coverings and, you know, all these things. So, but we're all still healthy and, you know, when he gets some time off, he rests as much as he can and sleeps as much as he can. And then we're just hanging out here with our shenanigans. I do actually go and walk around Ojai every couple days. I do go outside and get some fresh air. It's not exactly exercise, but it's something.
Absolutely. And you do live in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It's stunning there. I love Ojai. And hopefully I'll be back again soon. But I'll be back next April for this retreat I'm planning.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I'll definitely be heading your way for that retreat in Santa Barbara. Very exciting.
Fabulous. I can't wait.
Yeah. Right. Well, that was Lisa Braithwaite. Thank you for joining me, Lisa.
Of course.
And that was one of the episodes of the Amijo Show. Get in touch with Lisa at lisabraithwaite.com. No.
CoachLisaB.com.
Do you know, as I was saying, I was thinking, I'm sure it's Lisa B. What am I doing?
I was like, something about that doesn't sound right. Coach Lisa B, coachlisab.com. Yeah.
CoachLisaB.com. On LinkedIn, you're Lisa Braithwaite, right?
Yeah, I actually on LinkedIn, well, I think my LinkedIn link is actually Coach Lisa B as well, but I'm easy to find as Lisa Braithwaite or Coach Lisa B on all the places. Coach Lisa B on Instagram, Coach Lisa B on Facebook, Lisa Braithwaite on Twitter. So I'm either
Cool.
Lisa Braithwaite or Coach Lisa B. Not hard to find.
And you've got a $27, so whatever that is, UK online thing as well, haven't you? Just to finish off.
Gosh, it's probably like 22 or something for you,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, I have my Go Virtual training, my training about taking your live presentations and taking them online. I decided to offer that for $27, again, to make it really affordable, easy to get into everybody's hand right now. And it is packed with content. I just stayed on the line for 2 hours, and after the content was over, continued answering questions and answered a lot of questions throughout. So it probably could have been like an hour-long thing, but I really wanted to make sure everything was covered. So that's my Go Virtual training. Yeah, $27. So we can put that in the link as well, right?
Will do.
In the
Yeah. Fantastic.
wherever it's going to be.
So fantastic. It just so the light has just dipped in London as
Yeah.
whatever time, and I'm just still here. If you can't see me, I'm not going to run for the light. It's too late. But it was well worth having you tune in. Thank you, Lisa, for coming in from Ojai, California. I'm Jo Baldwin-Trott, and that was Lisa Braithwaite.